By day, he was a respected Manhattan architect planning corporate office spaces. By night, he was the ghost stalker of Ocean Parkway. With Rex Heuermann officially sentenced to life behind bars last week, we step inside his Massapequa vault to explore how he hid a decade of horror in plain sight. Hello all, Stacy the Blackfeather Intuitive, and welcome to another Blackfeather Crime episode as part of my Blackfeather community, Blackfeather Defining a VIP Life, Blackfeather Couture. Today we are exploring this Gilgo Beach final verdict, Rex Heuermann, and what a creepy ass case this is. So the final historic sentencing on June 17th, of 2026, marking the closure of the decade's biggest serial killer investigation. The infamous Long Island serial killer case reached its ultimate legal milestone last week. Architect Rex Heuermann was sentenced to life without parole. The media is swarmed with newly unsealed evidence, crime scene architectural diagrams of his home, and the final impact statements of the victims' families. The architect of death has finally been sentenced. Last week, the Gilgo Beach killings case officially closed as Rex Heuermann was sentenced to life behind bars, but the unsealed court documents reveal a terrifying secret investigators kept hidden. Just a trigger warning here. First of all, it's a psychic reading, so take what works for you and leave the rest. I could be right, I could be wrong. I do this to help others, to help shed some light and add clues that otherwise might not be seen or heard or understood, in order to bring some closure and comfort to the families and to law enforcement. A trigger warning, I may come through with some disturbing imagery. If I do, I'll try to give you a heads up to fast forward through, but if you really are sensitive, maybe true crime is just not your thing. Okay, timeline highlights 2010 to 2026. Wow, he had a really long run. December 2010, police searching for missing Shannon Gilbert discover the remains of the Gilgo 4 wrapped in burlap along Ocean Parkway. July 2023, Long Island architect Rex Heuermann is arrested in Manhattan. DNA matches a discarded pizza crust to hair on the victims. It's amazing what modern technology can do today. 2024 to 2025, investigators unearth complex digital footprints, burner phones, and his highly detailed chilling planning manifesto. What's with these people and their damn manifestos? It's like, are you really that important? That's the issue, right? It's ego. June 17th, 2026, Heuermann is officially sentenced to multiple consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. So we're going to tap in here to three of the, I want to say, sort of the burning questions that remain as a result of the finality of this case. And that, with every case, there are often unanswered clues, unanswered questions, things that are not brought up in the court case because, they can't file it or they can't prove it or, all manner of things. The thing that's really important here is that up to 10 bodies were found near Gilgo Beach. How many of the remaining victims, like Peaches or the unnamed toddler, can be definitively linked to Heuermann? Wow. Okay, so just tapping in psychically, I do have my deck here, but tapping in psychically, let me just tap into that up to the 10 bodies. I'm definitely feeling that the Peaches, the woman that goes by the nickname Peaches, was definitely a victim. I'm seeing a situation where she got some kind of incentive to go with him He picked her up in a vehicle. Feels like an SUV type vehicle. I'm really, so trigger warning here about the toddler. I'm not going to go into great detail here, but with the toddler, unfortunately, yes, I do feel that the toddler was a victim of this individual as well. I feel that Rex feels like cornered his mother. Feels like he knew his mother from a previous time, previous engagement, previous experience. Ran into her again. She was terrified. She tried to say, you know, please let me go, you know, for my child. And I feel that he did a horrible thing and hurt the child in front of her in order to give her no hope and for her to become more compliant. I'm seeing that he would pick people up in different places. There was never one specific sort of hunting ground. I'm seeing that he wasn't particularly choosy, that he was more of a, I feel like going out tonight and doing this thing, so I'm gonna go to a place that I feel intuitively is gonna have what it is I'm looking for. He did have regular places that he would frequent, but I don't feel it was just one place. I am also seeing something near a garbage dump where a lot of his crimes took place. And I do see that Gilgo Beach was definitely his burial grounds, a burial ground of choice. I don't feel that he buried anyone anywhere else, except for one. There is someone buried, I feel, deep within a house that was next to something that he was building. That'll come out in the next 3 years. It's going to come out due to some kind of an excavation that leads to something other than, like, it's not about the crime. And they're going to excavate and they're going to find the body. And that's going to be one more to his thing. I feel like Gilgo Beach itself has ties to his mother. That's why he's chosen Gilgo Beach in particular. I feel like he has a deep-seated hatred for his mother, or a mother-like figure that was pretty prominent in his life. There were a lot of memories of Gilgo Beach, and so this was a fantasy of his. And that's why he chose that place to bury them. It was kind of a, fuck you to the mom or to the mother figure. He has, I feel like, no soul. So he's one of these types that has to mimic humanity in order to be able to pass as human. And he definitely took pleasure out of causing pain. There was definitely SA involved in each of these cases. And there is some significance to the burlap as well. Feels like it's connected to his childhood. I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know how important that is to the questions that we're asking right now, but just getting a little bit of that hit. Okay, did Heuermann act entirely alone, or did his architectural and local prominence help shield a larger network? With all of the Epstein stuff going on, it wouldn't surprise me if there was a larger network at play here, but I'm not getting that. I'm getting that this was his work. Did he share it with others who are of like mind? Quite possibly. Yeah, Ace of Cups. I feel like he initiated someone else into this situation, actually two someone else's into this situation. But it was like he taught others how to do this, but he did not allow them to join him on his, what he would consider sacred ground. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'll pass on some tricks of the trade, but I'm not going to let you into, I'm not going to let you in behind the curtain. I'm not going to let you in to see my issue. But I feel that he initiated other people. But did he act alone? Yes, he acted entirely alone. He helped other people to find their own rhythm and their own path. Ooh, what a sick, twisted individual. I don't know that that's ever going to come out unless there is, I want to say, like a jail bed confession kind of situation. It did not serve his purposes to reveal anyone else's secrets, but I do feel that he sort of used a bit of blackmail to keep everyone quiet around that. But of course, like, it's not to their advantage to rat on him because they've been doing the same thing. Like, you don't say, hey, he taught me to do all of these things, because then you're making yourself guilty as well. So yeah, he initiated others, but he acted alone. Again, psychic guidance, I could be right, I could be wrong. I can only give you what I'm getting. It sounds bizarre, but there it is. The locked vault. This is a big one. What did investigators find in the massive soundproof basement vault of his Massapequa Park home? Wow, we got the Judgment card. Look at how dark that card is. So I'm hearing souvenirs. I'm seeing lipstick. I'm seeing seminal fluids on Kleenexes, on patches of fabric. So what I keep seeing is, like, some of these killers will keep souvenirs of, like, women's underwear or things of that nature. For him, I feel like he would cut out, because he wanted to keep things smaller, nondescript, things that wouldn't ask a lot of questions, wouldn't cause him to stand out, in any way. I'm seeing a lot of torture chamber stuff, like sexual torture chamber stuff. I'm seeing a bath. If I keep hearing blood bath, but it's a tub. And I'm hearing bloodbath. Yeah, he did some really awful, twisted stuff to these women, to his victims. And I'm feeling like he had a bit of a fascination with particular types of tools. So not a knife per se, but could be like a tiny pocket knife, or could be a sharp bottle cap, or a bottle opener. I'm seeing like small bladed, small sharp objects. And I'm seeing him doing something awful with the skin. And I feel like his method of taking the person's life was a bit varied, like variation on a theme. And this vault that they found with all of his stuff on it showed a lot of that. He did take pictures, but he wasn't consistent with the pictures that he took. Like, sometimes it's like he would get caught up in it and he would just be in the moment and he wouldn't think to take the pictures. And other times he was very focused and methodical and knew exactly how he was going to do what he was going to do. And I keep seeing that there was an underlying odor, not necessarily an unpleasant odor, just a very distinctive odor. And I feel like this was something that he was using either in his cleaning products or, a candle, for example, that he burned all the time to cover up. I feel that he was pretty fastidious in his cleanliness, like staying clean, keeping things clean. For the most part, he was orderly. But yeah, that's what I'm getting. Ugh, what a horrible, horrible human being. I feel like there's a lot of evidence that feels a bit nondescript, stuff that they couldn't really put in as evidence because you couldn't completely tie it to one thing or another. It's kind of like the vault in his basement had work-related stuff as well as, his horrific extracurricular activities. So some things made sense to process and to include in the case, and some things just did not make any sense to bring that in at all. Wow. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. So again, if you are law enforcement and if there's anything that has come through in this today that can help you further the case. I mean, the guy is convicted, so I imagine the case is closed and you guys are moving on. But I'm here if there's anything that I can do to offer help or assistance. And otherwise, to my loyal viewers, I just say, hug your loved ones. Life is so short, and I send my heart and my love out to all of the victims of this really deranged individual. And, now is all we have, so really focus on today. Until we see you for another episode of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, sending you lots of love and support. We'll see you on the flip side, and transform well.